I went to school with Italian American kids. I was around a lot of Italian American food when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. And I was in Catholic school, and I had a lot of Italian American friends. Mm-hmm. And of course, I studied Roman history. So I was always assumed that I would learn Italian eventually, and I finally decided to just go ahead and do that. I spent a long time. I'm a historian of ancient Rome. So I finally figured I might as well learn Italian, because I'm going to go to Italy next year.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, sounds nice. You mentioned that you're a historian?
Yes,
So does that mean the academic thing?
Yes, I'm an academic.
Wow, that's amazing. So academic, you mean that you're working in with the institute, or you're like a professor?
I used to teach I taught at 3 universities and 2 prep schools in the United States. 2 of the top prep schools in the United States, and the top university in the world for my field of ancient history, UC Berkeley.
Wow.
And now I'm starting a prep school of my own in Pennsylvania. Wow,
sounds nice, gorgeous.
Thank you. Yep. Any other questions?
So why do you particularly pick Italy? Because there are so many countries that are like interesting and with.
I don't think you understood what my answer was. I said I'm a historian of ancient Rome.
Sure.
Do you see how that applies?
Sure. But at the beginning, you have to choose from choose one from.
Many
countries,
why did I choose the history?
I choose Rome.
Well, I was always interested in the origins of the United States. So Rome is a big part of that, and Greece is even more important part of that. So I studied both of those, Greece and Rome. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Because the United States really has a close connection with the Europe history. Yeah, got it. Makes sense.
Well, it is Europe history.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Good questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Gloria, welcome. Gloria? Welcome back, Gloria. Are you there? Okay, Eileen, welcome.
Hello, Mark.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Taking a break from working. I'm doing something very frustrating, but it's saving me a lot of time. But it's very frustrating.
Okay.
I'm trying to build a wall. I'm trying to sneak a wall behind my water heater.
So
I'm literally trying to.
Are you using? What tools are you using to do that?
I'm using a knife, a pencil, a square. A square, a builder's square. I don't know how to. I think you'd have to translate it.
Okay. Okay,
I'll type it for you so you can translate it.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
So I'm using a pencil, a knife, a builder's square. I'm using a drill to drive in screws. And I did a little bit of painting earlier of one of the little panels that I needed to get back there.
Yeah, I can tell. It sounds really nitty-gritty things to me. I don't know how to.
Yeah, it's brutal. Well, It's hard because I'm trying to slip the wall behind. I'm trying to slip the panels behind the water heater, and I'm gonna do it. It's just very, very intricate and very difficult. But it's going to save me a lot of time, and it's going to be a lot safer than if I were to disconnect my water heater.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you have been doing for days this thing? No wonder yesterday you didn't get on here.
Yeah, I was really working hard yesterday. I guess I didn't do a voice room yesterday, did I?
No.
Yeah.
I had been waiting for a whole day, then nobody
really?
up.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize. Well, you know what I did is like after I worked, there was a basketball game that went late enough to where like after I was done watching the game and listening to the interviews after and all that stuff, I was ready to just turn in and go to bed. I was too tired.
That makes sense. Yeah. And my friend, he didn't get on too because he was doing this shoveling the snow, and he lives in the center of America, and the snowstorm is bad now. So he said he has
in the center of America.
Yeah.
What state?
Missouri. And he he had been doing this whole thing for hours a day, is shoveling the snow from the house.
Yeah.
So he said if you don't do that right, you'll be stuck in the house for weeks if you don't spend few hours doing that thing. I said, okay.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know about a few hours. I think that sounds like a little too much, but I mean, even if there's a lot, because I mean, when I lived in Montana, I shoveled a lot of snow, but it wouldn't take hours. It would take a half an hour or 45 minutes, maybe at the most, to do like a lot, even though there was a lot of snow. I mean, in Montana, it was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable amount of snow, yeah. Always. Every winter.
I wouldn't be caught dead shoveling the snow in the weather like that, It's like minus 10 degrees. I'll be frozen inside the weather like that. And I hate winter. Per se. I really don't like winter.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. Sorry, there was something I wanted to check with you, but it just I can't recall now. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say, I started watching this movie, and Heaven Helps Us. And I know this story was about this Catholic school.
Right.
Boys, the lives and experience from the school, right?
Yeah, both the boys and the girls. There's a boys' school and a girls'. Back then in the 60s, there were a lot more all boys Catholic schools and all girls Catholic schools because they kept the boys separate from the girls for obvious reasons.
They kept the boys and girls in the school at the same time?
They kept the boys separate from the girls for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for keep them apart from distractions, yes. I think...
That's what I needed. If I had gone to an all-boys school, I would have gotten A's in high school just like I did in college, and I would never have failed Algebra 3. For sure. I remember in Algebra 3, I failed it, and I was like, why did I fail it? Am I that bad at math? And I thought I was bad at math, but I wasn't that bad, right? And I realized we had a seating chart, right? And the teacher put me right in the middle of the 5 hottest girls in the school. And I'm like, now I know why I failed.
Okay.
I had never had a chance. From day one, I had never had a chance in Algebra 3. Algebra 2, yeah.
Okay, but for me, right, I thought that would be all the guys dream about. to sit in the center of the
Well,
universe.
it was a dream. It was a dream come true. But then the nightmare came on my report card.
I mean, then don't complain about it. It's give and take, right? I would
No,
say that.
give and take. Give and take.
Yeah.
I got an F.
Because
I failed algebra.
it was not worthy. It's not worthy.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't worth it because I could have talked to those girls outside of class anyway.
Oh.
It was just a 45-minute class every day.
Okay.
I could have been fine. I would have been fine.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I think just make me think about these kind of things. People don't speak about it often. I actually feel that actually this type of things actually would really be considered as a factor of distraction at a young age of boys and girls. True?
Oh, yeah.
Even my girls, she's only 6 now, but she came to me say, "Oh, mommy, this is my boyfriend. I like that boy. He's handsome." I say, "Oh my God, quit thinking about that. You are your friend. Yeah, they're not boyfriend. They're just friends." Yeah.
Oh no! Don't start lying to her right away. Lie to her when she's an adult, Eileen. Come on now.
But the problem is that they were coming up a lot of questions, weird questions that you have nowhere to find an answer in how to, explain to them at this age. They start coming out a lot of questions.
Like what?
Like why? Why cannot like him? Why girls and boys and we have different parts of body? Those kind of questions you can't underestimate what kind of question you would ask.
You can't. You say you can't answer the question. You're right. You just tell her we don't know. This is how we. I arrived here just like you did, and this is how the world is, and this is how we got boys and girls and different. They got different parts, and I don't know why it happened that way. I don't think anybody knows why that is. Right?
Oh, but it sounds like lying to them anyway.
I love kids' questions. Because they're fascinated with just the most simplest of things in the world, and we don't even think of it anymore. We take it for granted, and we think about all kinds of other complicated questions, but we don't think of the simple things like that. Like, why are there boys and girls?
Yeah.
Why do girls like boys and boys like girls? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't even think about that. Yeah. We just know that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's awesome.
Awesome? You think it's awesome?
Of course it is. Why isn't it? You don't think it's awesome?
It's awesome if I know how to answer the questions, right?
No, you don't have to answer it. You don't have to know the answer to every question, Eileen. Come on, are you beating yourself up or what?
Sometimes.
Oh my God! You don't.
Because I don't want to.
Nobody knows the answer.
Okay.
Nobody knows the answer. Tell your kid this is the answer, Eileen. Nobody knows the answer. That's the answer. Okay? Yeah. So when the time is up, then it's your turn to find out why. So I can't answer that question now because I'm still looking for the answer. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, Eileen, if you want to hang out, stay up there on stage, and then we'll come back to you and finish with you, okay? If you want to, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to go to the other folks and then come back, okay? Umar, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Umar.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you up to today?
I will ask you what the best stage of new resident in US?
The best state for a new resident?
Yeah, because I will travel in US in next month.
You're going to next month. You're coming to the United States, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to know where the best?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
The best stage of the new resident.
For new resident, are you going to be living in the United States? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, part of the reason I live where I do is because Boise has always been for a long time, it's been one of the greatest cities in the entire country as far as like general living, you know.
Yeah.
So I would have to put Idaho up there. You know, I'd have to put Boise up there. Still, it's one of the best places. The traffic's starting to get a little bit too much, but that's one of them for sure. I would say certain parts of Colorado. I would say South Carolina.
Yeah. What do you think for Virginia?
I mean, Virginia's nice, yeah, but I don't think I would want to live there.
Carolina.
North Carolina or South Carolina?
South.
Yeah, I love South Carolina, but I don't know about. I would go to a place in South Carolina that has a big university. Like I would go to Clemson. I would go to Columbia, South Carolina, or Charleston. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Arthur, welcome.
Hey Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much. You just said you're a Greco-Roman historian, yes?
Yeah, I'm a historian of ancient Rome and Greece. If you say I'm a Greco-Roman historian, that means that my culture, like my origins of my family, are Greco-Roman. And maybe they are, but I don't. You know what I mean? So I'm a historian of ancient Rome and Greece. Yeah.
I'm from a country who has always been a rival to both of them, Greece and Rome. Do you know where?
Well,
history.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's the Persian Empire.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if it's. I mean, it's kind of a long time that's been separating Iran and Persia. So I'm not sure it's the same. It's the same thing. I don't know if you would say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the old name of Iran was Persia. Even in the United Nations, yes, that's right.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
And so why do you think they have always been confronting each other?
Well, I mean, the Persians invaded Greece, right? So why do you think so?
Because I think just because of their separate identities.
No, why did Persia invade Greece? Because that's what happened.
Actually, and Greece and also the Romans invaded a lot of Persian cities. You know, it was a type of reciprocation.
Okay,
invasion.
Well, who did it first?
Defense.
Who did it first?
I don't know. I'm not that actually a specialist in the details.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you. The Persians invaded Greece and almost destroyed it. They almost destroyed Greece and they almost took it over. And they were not incited in any way. They were not. The Greeks were minding their own business. So.
And who was the king?
When Alexander the Great went and conquered the known world, he was, I mean, that was a response. That was a response to what he knew about that.
Who was the king of Persia at the time of that invasion?
The first one was Darius. And the second one was Xerxes. And they invaded twice, 2 years in a row. Yep. With a lot of troops.
as a historian, if you just want to introduce the top 5 old civilizations to us, which one would you put in the beginning?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of our history is hidden. In fact, that's being proven right now as we speak. And I believe that there was a civilization that has been hidden. So it was so great, and it was so different from what we think of in terms of political history, that would have been the greatest civilization, and it was called Tartaria.
Where was
Tartaria.
it located?
It was the maps. The old maps have it located where Russia and China are now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that civilization extended all the way around the world, but they did not think of nation states the way we do. They saw it as a cultural phenomenon and a spiritual phenomenon absent of religion.
Mm.
And they built great buildings all over the world, and then they lied to us about how those buildings were built. And you can see similarities in the buildings all over the world. They look kind of Greco-Roman. They have all kinds of similar statues and details all over the world.
Should those statues and a special type of arcs just date back to Greece or the Roman architecture? No. As I know,
some of them do. Yeah, some of them do, but not all of them. Not the griffin. There's gargoyles. There's faces of people we don't know that are attached to the tops of columns and into the lintels on the tops of that go across the top of the columns, and all kinds of interesting details that we don't know anything about.
Uh-huh. So
I mean, some of it does look very Greco-Roman. I agree, but the other thing is, Arthur, is that the history of Greece and Rome is probably almost completely hidden too, because there's researchers who have discovered certain facts. One of the facts is that the chief scribe at the Vatican admitted that he edited all of the ancient texts. So we don't have any original ancient text. He edited all of them. Now, if he admitted to corrupting the history of an entire civilization that lasted 800 years, if he admitted to that, I want to know what he doesn't admit, right? I want to know what he's not admitting, because if the Roman civilization lasted 800 years and we only have 50 authors, I mean, we should have at least 1 million authors, in my opinion, for a civilization that lasted that long and was that advanced for that long. See that? So I think it's possible that both Greece and Rome, since you can see the similarities between them, especially in the architecture, I think it's possible that Greece and Rome were simply offshoots of this greater Tartarian empire that was worldwide.
This is a new theory, or
no? It's not a theory. They're proving. This is not a theory. This is research. This is real research that's being easily at least the part where they're proving the history is a lie. That's being proven every single day, beyond the shadow of a doubt. That's being proven. So it's not a theory. It's actually being proven.
So you mean that they controlled a very big territory from Russia and China to Greece?
You keep saying controlled. See, you're thinking in the way that we think in the time that we live now, because of the history that we've been lied to about. You keep saying controlled. It was a world where we didn't have the type of control that you're talking about. It was a cultural empire, an artistic empire, and a spiritual empire. As far as we can tell, so far, there's a lot of research yet to be done. But so far, we cannot see that there were the political divisions that we have today and that they tell us we had back in history.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, look at us right here. We're proving it right here. Look at, we have people from all over the world. There's 83 people from all over the world. And we're here being friends and listening to each other and being decent with each other. And we're not fighting wars and saying, you can't come into my room because I'm an American. Only Americans can come in my room. I'm from Iran. You can't come into my room. I'm from Iran. See, this is how people naturally act. You know, good. Most people are pretty good people, right? And pretty good people are going to just be friends with, they're going to try and be friends with anybody that they come into contact with. They're going to try and live peacefully and happily, okay? But the people who control the world don't want that, because if we do that worldwide, then they lose control and they lose their power. See that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the way the world was before they hid the history and before the cataclysms. There was cataclysms that have been proven. There's a guy, his name is Gunnar Heinsohn, and he proved that 700 years, he proved scientifically that 700 years minimum was added to our timeline. So literally in the Western world, we say it's 2024, but actually it's 1324. That's the year. That's the actual year. He proved it.
And how about the interaction of these Tartarians with Persians? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I think that were the Mongols in Persia at any time?
No. The Mongols, they invaded Persia.
Yeah. There was something having to do with the Mongols, but no, I mean, what I'm saying is that the civilization was worldwide, so it's possible that the Persian Empire came out of that, or was just a part of it, just like I was saying with Rome and ancient Greece. But we don't know. I mean, the truth is we don't really know.
I think the reason behind all of those controls, invasions, and those extensions of territories has always been lack of resources. It's just to find new resources and conquer the resources and conquest of these resources.
I don't think so. I think it's the psychopaths want power, they seek power, and they gain power, and then they control other people and teach them to hate other people that aren't like them. That's what I think. I don't think it has to do with finding new resources.
Who did you say was like that?
All the people who run the countries, and who have in history too.
So when
like Darius, like Xerxes, like Caesar, like Julius Caesar, like Caligula, like Mark Antony, like Sulla.
So you mean that they're running
like Alexander the Great, like Philip, his father, like all the pharaohs of Egypt, and on and on and on and on, all over the world. I'm not picking on anybody, but I'm just thinking of the ones that I know of, you know.
So you mean that their main intention was, in one word, what was their main intention?
Control and power. When you have all the money you could ever want in the world, what's left to go after? Money. And once you have all the money and all the riches, then that you could ever want, right? What's left? control and power of other people.
So if you just control a bunch
Tiago, no talking about that, guys. We're talking about history. We're not getting into religion and politics together. Definitely not. Okay, Tiago? Can't do that.
When you're just controlling a bunch of poor people, why is it good for?
Because you can enslave them. And you didn't listen to the part where I said that they're psychopaths. There's a certain percentage of all humanity that are psychopaths. Psychopaths, they have no empathy for other people. That's the basic definition of a psychopath. They enjoy hurting other people. They enjoy controlling other people. They enjoy manipulating other people. And psychopaths have a tendency to seek and attain positions of power. That's how it works. Any psychologist will tell you that.
As far as I know, what you say as a psychopath, it just fits into the framework of those Mongols. I mean, they didn't have. This is the exact definition. Why? Because throughout the history, you haven't seen any architecture, any step forward in, I don't know, in monuments, in buildings. They didn't add anything to the world. But when it comes to Persia, when it comes to Greece, when it comes to Romans, they have added so many things. They have elevated at least so many things in the history.
Yeah. Well, we know that the second part of what you said is true. It could be that the Mongols did add a lot to history, but that part was hidden too. And it could be that the Mongols themselves were an offshoot of the Tartarians because they were very near. I mean, they came out of what is shown on the maps as Tartaria, on the old maps.
Now, what is left out of those Mongols? No monuments, no books, no history, no art.
What I'm saying, Arthur, I'm saying we don't know that. That could have been hidden. Just like the whole history of Tartaria. That's proven. There's a CIA document that shows that the Russian government deleted, they canceled the history of Tartaria. They did everything they could to completely erase the history of the Tartarians. Somebody might have done that with the Mongols too. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to uncover. See, that's why everybody needs to learn logic. Everybody needs to learn formal logic because nobody does. And the reason why nobody does is because the people who are in power don't want us to learn logic. Okay? If we all knew logic, then we would question. We would question our history because there's a lot of things that don't make sense. I mean, even if you're at a top university, you're under control. I mean, if at Berkeley, when I was at Berkeley, if I said to my professor, wait a minute, I just discovered this guy, Joseph Scaliger, and here it is where he admits that he edited all of the ancient texts, and the only copies we have of the ancient texts are the ones that he copied. So what is it we're doing here? What would have happened to me if I'd have said that to my professors at Berkeley? I would have been dismissed from school. Thank God I didn't know that back then. Thank God I didn't know about Joseph Scaliger back then because I would have gotten kicked out because I want the truth. I would have been proud to get kicked out of there, but I still am proud of my degree from there as well because that's where I really learned to reason. It's just kind of a conundrum, The very place where I learned to reason and to communicate my thoughts clearly and accurately is the place where they should have discovered or told us about this fact that we don't have the real texts from the ancient world.
Yeah, you just said that the Russians deleted that background, but
no, you keep mixing up what I'm talking about, Arthur. I said that the Russians deleted Tartarian history. That's a fact.
Yeah. I'm just talking about Tartarians. Yeah, our main topic.
I was talking about
Tartarians.
Joseph Scaliger in Roman Greece, because I studied ancient Rome and ancient Greece at Berkeley.
About the Tartarians, you just said that the Russians deleted their background.
Not the Russians, the Russian government. And this was during Soviet times, so it was the Soviet Union that did that. Yeah. So let's not. That's another thing that they trick us into doing, Arthur. They say, yeah, the Russians, they were bad. They did that thing. Well, no, the people didn't do anything. It's the people that were in control of the Russian people that did this bad things, right? It was the Soviet Union, and then they say, oh no, the Chinese are bad or the Americans are bad because they attack us. No, the people didn't attack anybody. Our government sent people over there to attack somebody.
Yeah, you're right.
Under the threat of under penalty of death, okay, and under false pretense.
Yeah. No. Actually, our topic is beyond, as you have already said, our topic and discussion is beyond the nationalities, religions, or any prejudice. But because you welcome questions, this is my question to you. It seems almost impossible to delete such a big impression as you describe in that vast majority. How is it possible? And throughout the history,
because they control education.
Area.
I just told you why it's possible, Arthur, because they control education all over the world, and they make sure that nobody learns formal logic. Have you ever learned formal logic? Do you know one person that has ever taken a formal logic class, or that even knows what a formal logic class is? I bet you don't even know a single person that has ever taken formal logic.
Their names, no. Even this name, Tartaria or Tartarian.
No, I'm not talking about Tartaria. I'm talking about logic, Arthur. I asked you a question. Do you know anybody that even knows what formal logic is, much less has taken a course in formal logic?
Actually, in our school, yes, we have a course. The topic is logic and philosophy in our high school.
Okay. In your high school, but the course is not logic. They say logic and philosophy. The only logic you're getting is by reading the philosophy. The logic is a system, and it has to be taught like a math course by itself, Arthur. You can't just read philosophy and say, I know formal logic. You have to know the actual skill for everything you do.
You're right. There are so many details, so many wrong actions related to logic, as we all know, like the logics behind the mathematics, or the logics in speaking, in reasoning, in conclusion. Yeah, you're right.
But this is what I'm saying, Arthur, is that formal logic is not that hard. It's like basic algebra. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
And the kids should be learning it at least at the time when they start learning basic algebra. For me, that would have been like 5th grade.
Yeah.
They should be teaching that, and they don't. They make sure you don't know logic. Even at the university, they don't teach it. Unless you're studying, guess what? Philosophy. And I happened to minor in philosophy, and this course called Logic 101 was required. I was like, what's that? I should have known what it was. I was like, oh, that's cool. I guess you need logic. So I showed up at logic class, and I was like, why didn't we learn this in middle school or high school or something? Now I know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know logic, they can't lie to you on the news and in the media, and that you can't see how you're being manipulated by the Hollywood movies and the music industry.
Yeah. And it avoids so many miscalculations, misunderstandings, wrong decisions. Yeah, you're right.
That's right. Yeah. So that's how you asked me, how could they hide so much history? That's how. Because they can just tell you anything, and you believe it. And imagine, Arthur, we have the internet. We've had the internet for what? Like 30 years, maybe at the most? Really not, only useful for about 20 years, really. Only useful for about 20 years, where all the information we want is basically at our fingertips. Just imagine, look at how much they lie to us now. When we can go research and prove that they're lying to us. Just imagine how much they lied to us when we didn't even have the internet. Imagine. They could tell you anything. And we just believe it.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree with you that these social media and so many websites, there are also some tools to mislead you or just to focus your attention on a few details or a few topics. Yes, that's right. Yes, this is one of the.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Arthur, everything is on the internet. I agree. Everything is on the internet, but there's also information that where you can go and find out what the truth is by using your own brain. You're so worried about being misled online that you're like, oh, online is bad? No. If you have a brain and you know formal logic, you can get online and find out what the truth is. You can sift through the lies and the truth.
Yeah,
but just imagine. Hold on. Just imagine a day when all you heard were the lies, and you had no ability to go research it at all. Not at all. And do you think they lied to you then? How much do you think they lied to you then? Holy smokes. A lot. It's all they did. That's all they did. They literally raised our great-great-great-grandparents in a complete fog of deception and misguided facts and totally false history, everything.
Well, what you have just said reminds me of a story or a short movie that a man was sleeping and he was a butterfly. He was flying as a butterfly, and when he woke up, he couldn't understand which one was the real case, the man or the butterfly. What you are describing is a source, something like that. The whole history, the whole nations, the whole people have been living in a fog of lie and unreal things.
That's right, exactly. You. That's a great. What is the name of that story, Arthur?
I can text you. I can text you later. I can't remember that.
Okay. Let me tell you the other one from ancient Greece. It's the allegory of the cave. Was it? Yeah, it was Plato, right? The allegory of the cave. Because in the allegory of the cave, there were people chained to a wall, right? But they could see the shadows of the stuff that was going on outside because there was an opening behind them, but around a corner. And so all they saw were shadows their whole lives. So they believed that the shadows were the real thing. And then when they were released, they didn't understand the world that they lived in because there were no shadows anymore. They were the actual people that were casting the shadows onto the wall in front of them. It's very similar. See that?
Yes, yeah. What is the name of this story?
I'm typing it right now. It's the allegory of the cave. There it is. And it's Plato.
By Plato, yes. Very close to the story that I've just told you.
Yeah. What a great conversation, Arthur. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much. It was really interesting. Yes, we can be in close contact. I will send you the name of the story, and also we can continue our communication. Thank you so much for the details.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah. Great conversation.
Bye-bye.
Great conversation. Thank you, Arthur. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
I gotta get back to work, but thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you all being here and listening to that. That was a really good conversation. One of the better ones that we've ever had here in my voice room. Thank you.
Ahmed and Sharoz, can you mute your mics because the app magnifies all the sound for some reason?
Oh, okay.
It's not your fault. You can stay on stage if you want to, guys. But I just it will help a lot to hear whoever's speaking. It's the app's fault. It's not your fault. You guys are great. Yeah, Maria, I understand it. So you may have hit a plateau where the methods that you're using now have reached their maximum use, and it's time to try a different approach. So everyone who's on stage, if you're not able to measure your success, then you should change what you're doing. There should be a way to measure if what you're doing is working or not. So it's like having a SMART goal, SMART. It means your goals, your short-term goals should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be achievable. They should be related to your big goal, and they should also be time-bound. So, for example, you'll say, I want to learn 5 new words a week. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when I'm talking about learning the words, I don't mean memorizing them so you can recognize them on a test. I mean being able to recall and use those words at the end of the week, and at the end of next week, and at the end of next month. So specifically, you pick 5 words, for example, that are words that you are likely to use in the kind of conversations you have every week. Of course, you're going to look them up. You're going to put them in sentences, but you're also going to create dialogue. You can use ChatGPT to create dialogue for you. Give it the 5 words. It'll make a 2-person dialogue. And then you practice the dialogue with your study partners. And that will lock it into your brain like an experience. Your brain will recognize that these 5 words need to be kept where they can be used again because you're going to use them often. So I really emphasize dialogue, practice with your study partner, switching roles, acting like you're in the scenario. If it's a grocery store or coffee shop, act like you're there. This will make your brain feel like you had an experience that was a positive experience. And then you put those 5 words in a quiz that you make yourself, and you test yourself next week, and you test yourself the week after. You're going to be so tired of those words, but you're going to remember them, and they're going to be an option when you're talking to someone. So stop memorizing 20 or 30 words just to tell people, I memorize 20 to 30 words a week. If you're not seeing the results or the enhancement, then you're kind of spinning your wheels. Does that make sense to you guys? Entiendo?
Yeah, it does make sense. For me, my problem is that I started like when I was in middle school, learning like English and from like watching YouTube videos, and I just never like learned it, to be honest. It's just kind of like from hearing it a lot, so I got used to it. So right now I feel like I'm stuck in a level that I cannot improve, you know, because I never really studied it. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it just happened.
Yeah, it's called passive learning. So you just acquired it from exposure to it. And that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. But you're like me with Spanish. I learned it by having Spanish friends, but I can only last 5 or 10 minutes in a conversation because I don't know the rules. I don't have a big vocabulary. But with many languages, I can pronounce them the way you're supposed to because I'm a communicator. I listen to all those sounds and I imitate it. But I'm just like you. I haven't picked up a book. So if I wanted to learn to think in Spanish and use it in my life, I would have to do the things that are not as much fun for me. I would have to start learning the structure, I would have to take those little by little. You have to develop an appetite for it. And then the exposure you have plus the rules that you'll learn will all of a sudden connect, and boom, your level will go up right away. But you have to do the things you've been avoiding.
That's the problem. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
it's just so boring.
It is. And so you have to find a way to, like if you were a teacher of a classroom of children, you would have to find a way to get their interest and maintain their interest until they saw the results of the effort they were making. and then they would see that it's going to help them, and they would want to do it a little more. You got to treat your brain and treat yourself like it's another person. You're the mom in charge of your baby body, and you gotta discipline it. But you have to do it easy, otherwise it will rebel against you, right? So do it little by little. Find a cool partner that you want to get to learn who's also doing these things, so you can kind of do them together. It's more fun, and then you'll see how the small amount of new concentrated effort you use will connect with the experiences you have, and boom, boom, you'll level up, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
So,
I want that. I
yeah.
really want it, but I just don't think I have the time right now to do all this. I don't know. I just
Oh, yeah, you're just throwing excuses at me, but it won't work.
no, not like
No,
that.
it won't work with me. I'm not buying it.
Wait. I have only one semester left, and I will graduate. And I'm just stressing about like my resume and my experience and everything, And so I just don't think it's like a good time. Like every time, I feel like it's not the right time.
Well,
Maybe
that's
I just don't want to do it,
The reason I'm being tough with you guys right now is because I care, and it's like tough love. Don't take it wrong, but I understand. I'm an old man,
No,
55
I get
years
you.
old, and so I'm here to tell you from the future that the pressures never end, the excuses never end. But I will tell you this: if you can put on your resume that you speak Spanish, that will make you stand out from everyone else who doesn't have it on there. So the excuse of I don't have time, I would flip that and say you can't afford to not do it, because you're so close. You've got functional Spanish. Now you need to level up and enhance your vocabulary. 15 minutes a day, 15 focused minutes a day. Start monitoring how much social media you watch accidentally, and give yourself a time limit to watch social media so that you have a little reward. But limit your social media time. Like, be disciplined about it, and you'll find you have an extra 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or more every day that you don't know where it came from. It came from the addiction to swipe. All of us have it. And so if you find a really cool partner or a cool community, that 15 minutes of focus time will benefit you a lot. And then you'll be able to be proud on your resume with all of your other things you're listing. You'll put, I can communicate in Spanish. I'm not fluent. I'm not an interpreter for a courtroom, but I can hold my own. And I think it's worth your time and effort to get that extra bullet on your resume so that you can beat all the other people out that don't have it on there. I'm just saying, give it some thought. I say it with as much care as I can, just meeting you. But yeah.
Oh, no, thank you so much.
I won't let you wiggle. No wiggle room. Yeah.
No, really, thank you. I appreciate it, and I understand everything. I don't know, it's just a little bit, it's just so little thing, but I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck because I've been avoiding it for years.
I know. Yeah, you're used to avoiding it. That's why you're so quick to throw things up. Yeah, but check it out, guys. Everyone, I know you're not alone. Is this Sunflower talking? Yeah, Sunflower. Or is this Maria? Is this Sunflower or is this Maria? Sunflower. Because both of your rings are glowing. So you've established patterns of response, and you're right. Listen, let me validate some of what you're saying. You're committed to college, and we should all learn to honor our commitments, without a doubt. Without a doubt, that's a huge commitment. It's a huge privilege. It's going to help you out a lot. You want to finish strong. You don't want to finish weak and distracted. I get it, and I support that. But after college, you've already set up your excuses. You're like, I'm worried about my resume. Then I have to be so. All of us have it in some way, shape, or form. We have this pattern of excuses, and so you have to decide.
It will never end. I know it's like a loop.
Yeah, you can't sell me both things. So you can tell me you don't really care about Spanish, and you're not interested in using it ever in your life more than you're already using it, and I'll accept that. But if you tell me I'm complaining because I'm not growing my Spanish, and I will one day, I'm not accepting that either. Because today's the day. Today's the day. You give yourself 5 minutes, look at 1 or 2 new Spanish words, put them in a sentence, and then be done with it. 5 minutes. Everyone has 5 minutes. And then start to do that every day. Defend that time, protect that time, and then find some really cool Spanish-speaking people who want to talk with you either in English or in your native language or in Japanese, whatever it is. If they want to learn with you, then that will be another reason to do it, because the days you don't want to do it, then your accountability partner will say, hey, I know you're tired, but look, I need my 5 minutes, bro. What's up? We already committed to this. And you're like, okay. So you'll find you'll get an appetite for it, and then you'll start to see how it separates you from other people. And that's what you need. All of you guys need that. And I want to help you get there. So as much as you welcome it, I don't have any required gifts. I don't even want you to give gifts when the app tells you to give gifts. Don't do none of that. Just message me directly and realize you have a friend who's a native speaker. I'm not a teacher. I'm a communicator. But if you really want it, then you have no excuse, because I work a full-time job. I've got other things going on in my life. But this is really important to me to help people who really want this. And sometimes I can think of ways that you might not have thought of that can instantly level you up. So it's up to you guys. I'm not forcing it. Yep. Good stuff, Sunflower. Thank you for being open and vulnerable like that. It was good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because for me, honestly, I don't really care about communication and stuff like that. I know it's really important, but for me, the goal is to read novels, to read books in English. I feel like it's just so hard, because I never ever focused on my reading skills. And reading and writing skills, so it's just I feel like my level is just so different from my speaking and listening, and it's just there's this gap that I don't know how to deal with, It's so annoying.
You really have to want to first, guys. If you just be honest with yourself. I'm not putting you up, giving you a hard time again, but you have to be honest with yourself. You can make a decision and let yourself off the hook and say, I don't want to learn anymore. I really don't want to learn anymore. And that'll let yourself off the hook. But there's still a pressure that you have, feeling incomplete or unsatisfied. Then you have to commit the other way. It takes commitment. You make a decision. You keep making that decision till it turns into habits. And those habits turn into your lifestyle. But look, it's like doing all the activities and getting prepared for the Olympics and saying, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. You've already done the hardest part. It's like, dude, what the heck? So, let me give you an example, guys, and thank you everybody for being so patient on the stage. I hope that what we're talking about is helping you. But about 5 years ago, I saw a young man. He's 22, doing a regular job at the company where I work, and he's like, man, I need to do something with my life. And I said, check this out. Learn Chinese. And he goes, oh, he's from Ethiopia. He's like, dude, that's too hard. I said, well, that's why your friends aren't learning Chinese. So you need to be the one that learns Chinese. And he goes, man, it's just too hard. I said, listen, you can try to work hard and be better at the trade you're taking in college, which puts you in direct competition with everyone who's taking the trade in college. Or you can make yourself different. Because I said this 5 years ago, because I was already working with China, and I said, China is going to be a world influencer. And I don't mean a place where you go to get stuff made less quality for less money so you can sell more of them. That's all. They did that to gain resource. And now they are leading the world in technology and evolving the whole.
Yeah, that's really true. Even here in Saudi, they're focusing on it. And the people who know Chinese language, they're on top, above everyone, to be honest.
And let's support Sunflower with some kind words. Voice is not coming from.
Cool. Sorry about that. It was the president. Just kidding. So, can you guys hear me? What's going? Sunflower, come in, Sunflower. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay, let me turn it up again. So I told him to learn Chinese, and he didn't listen. But China's a world influence now, and with any language, you can only learn so much, and then you have to learn the culture so you can understand why people do what they do and say what they say. And he missed that, and so I still tell you guys learn Chinese, because once you do, you can understand it way better than you thought, and most people will say it's too hard. So whatever your language challenge is, if it's English or Spanish or whatever, just realize that you guys are capable. At one point in your life, you wanted it, and you should just finish it, bro. Just finish it. You're young. It's going to help your resume. It's going to multiply your value at work. It's going to connect you with a whole group of amazing people that other people can't connect with. I would say just discipline yourself like a strict parent, and just push yourself and finish the darn thing. And you will find that the few things you start doing will instantly get you there. And you're like, I'm so glad what's his name told me to do it. Whatever his name was. That old guy in California.
No, you deserve it. Yeah, I know. Like, my major is computer science. It depends on the language, like everything in English. But like, there is no excuse, to be honest. But it's just, I need to be just hard on myself a little bit.
A little bit hard on yourself. Yep, a little bit. Well, I'm going to ask you to, let's pass the microphone around and see if somebody else wants to talk. But we're already texting each other, Sunflowers, so don't hesitate, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk? Because I feel like I could talk to Sunflower for a couple more hours, but we've got a full stage here, so just unmute your microphone. There's no order. Just everybody be respectful, and just open your mic and ask a question. Trust me, I can understand you. Yeah, go ahead.
Grammar. Yes, sir. Grammar should be mandatory for speaking the English.
Well, I'm a little bit biased. Do you know what biased means?
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm not an English teacher, and I did really bad at English in high school. I should not have graduated high school, but my English teacher passed me so I can go in the military. True story, guys. I learned my English because I'm a communicator. So I learned by patterns, not by studying. So I hate to read the rules, guys. I hate it.
Yeah, same here. Same.
I hate it.
Exactly. I forgot that most of the time.
Yeah, but
I used to do in my education. I used to do mug up.
Yeah, I really hate it. But I'm not you. I'm an old man already. I'm close to retirement, and it's not required for me. But for you guys, it may be something that could really affect your opportunities. So that's what motivates me to help you. But if it were to talk structured English, I would refer you to teacher Steph or Alicia or even Mick, because Mick is a lawyer. They're people, or Jules. Jules would probably know too in the UK. I would refer you to another live streamer to help you with your rules. But when it comes to fluency or encouraging you or interesting topics, I hope, then I can help you a lot, because I enjoy all of those things.
Okay. Should I start reading the books to learn, or start communicating first?
Well, whatever your interest is, because you have to use your interest as your fuel. Because it's going to take effort. It's going to take time away from your family or your other activities. So you have to have a certain passion or fuel. And after it's like a diamond, guys. A diamond has many sides to it, and becoming fluent has many sides to it. And one of our gentlemen, Ahmed or Shiroz, I forget who, I think it was Shiroz, he said, that, or maybe no, it was the lady that was up there first with us, I think. Maybe they said that you have to do the things that you're not really wanting to do. And you have to focus on the sides of the diamond that you enjoy first, until you develop your appetite and you feel your progress and you see that you're moving somewhere, you're going somewhere. And then you have to start bringing in the vegetables, I don't know where you guys are at on your diet. I don't want to sound offensive, but many people like meat. So they would start eating meat, and then eventually they have to eat vegetables to bring in the healthy part of it all. So with your English, you have to do whatever is interesting to you that can give you immediate results. So
Okay.
if you like communicating, then you have to practice dialogue so you can feel like you're talking with someone and get excited. Like, I can understand them, they can understand me, and then you have to gradually do the hard things. Okay.
Okay, issue is that I'm not in a consistency. I used to do for 1 week, 1 month, and then I stop. Then after 1 year, I realize I supposed to do consistent, but I'm not. I'm not consistent.
So if you do not go to the gym and exercise 3 times a week, do you think you'll see growth?
No.
No, you have to be consistent, right? You have to get your body into a cycle of exercise and sleep and repairing the muscle, and then go back and try harder. And English is no different. You have to have consistent exposure, consistent demand on your brain, so that your brain and body develop a process of reading, memorizing, understanding, absorbing, and then recalling. It's a fitness level. It's an educational fitness level. So you have to get into a routine, my friend. You have to decide if it's that important to you. So look and see what people who have an English fluency ability, if they make more money than you, or if it will get you into better colleges or allow you to come to the US if that's your goal. So find some motivation factor that will help you to do the things you don't like to do, and help you to do the other things every day, you know.
I can able to speak. I can understand whatever you said, but issue is that whenever I have to write the email about anything, in office, that time I stop. I'm not able to write, frame the sentence, and not able to explain in the email, in the writing.
Yeah, that's important. And so you can read books to acquire more examples of how to say things. But I would say that you read 2 different kinds of books, because when you read one kind of book, you should enjoy the story of the book. So read a very, very low-level book so that you understand most of the words and you can enjoy the story. That will encourage you. And then read another book where every paragraph you're seeing 2 or 3 new words that you've never seen before. That's more of a study book. But the first book I mentioned is more of a pleasure. Everyone here should be able to have fun with their English once in a while. You got to allow yourself to have fun, whether it's tongue twisters or nursery rhymes or whatever it is. Make sure you're enjoying it. Schedule some time to have fun with your English so that it's not all work.
Correct. Otherwise, it will be overwhelmed.
It will burn you out. And say it, I'm looking at everyone on stage, and you all work so much harder than American people do. And you inspire me because you're all so diligent and determined. And when you come, if you choose to come to the United States, you will pass all of our students quickly, because our students don't have that kind of focus or drive. So please be encouraged. Even if you're around a bunch of people in your country that are also very hard workers, I will say this, like, the people of China are incredibly focused. It's inspiring how focused they are, but it comes with a price, because they are expected to achieve great things at each phase of life, and it eventually has a really hard pressure on them. But they're incredibly focused. They can learn more in their American students can when they're awake. And I'm sure the people of India and whatever other countries are here on stage are the same way, because you guys have a hunger, you have a passion. And so do the right thing, work smarter, because when you get out of college or when you're in college, you need to learn how to work smarter, because you'll burn yourself out working harder for no reason. You don't need to.
To lend a hand, right? To lend a hand equals to help out.
exam because I want to get prepared for my application in the future because I want to apply for a PhD next year.
Okay. Let me correct some of this, what you're saying, okay?
Okay.
I am preparing for the IELTS for my application to a university. I know you mean overseas university next year.
Yeah.
I'm preparing for the IELTS for my application to a university next year.
Okay.
Is that right? Is that right, next year?
Yeah.
Okay, so say it correctly, because you have to learn correct English. Say it correctly. I'm preparing for the IELTS.
I'm preparing for the IELTS for my application to university next year.
To a university.
Two universities next year.
Oh, to some university next year. Okay, great. Or you can say I'm taking the IELTS.
Taking the IELTS.
To apply to a university next year. Okay, and so you have a whole year to prepare yourself. What score do you need?
Actually, this is my first try, so
Don't say actually.
Okay.
Natives never say actually unless they mean for emphasis, or if they're poor, if they're not well educated. You'll notice I never say actually unless I want to emphasize something. So it sounds bad if you keep saying actually or honestly or any of those things. So say it again. Tell me how you're preparing for the IELTS.
I practice speaking on Hello Talk and chat and communicate with ChatGPT. That is for my speaking part, and for my writing part, I memorize some expression phrases to try my best to use in my writing. And
to what? Using chat? What do you're memorizing phrases for what?
To use these phrases in my writing.
Okay, so you're memorizing phrases for your writing task.
Yeah. Yeah, and for my reading and listening, I think I usually practice the IELTS standard book, Cambridge book. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cambridge book. Yeah. So which Cambridge book are you using?
The official one.
Which number?
Now I'm using 18.
Okay, and what are you getting in listening and reading right now?
I think my reading and listening can get score 7.
No. Did you take the reading and listening test?
Yeah.
So it's not can. What are you getting? I got, or I'm getting, however you want to say it.
I got 7.
7 in listening and 7 in
reading.
Reading. Okay, great. And what score do you need overall?
I need at least 6.5.
Okay, so that's good. So that should be pretty easy for you.
No.
If you're getting 7 in listening and reading, you only need a 6 in speaking and writing. So you just need to focus on those 2, and you have a whole year, right?
Yeah, but I want to have the language results as soon as possible.
Okay, so you want your IELTS results as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Has any? I think you'll get a 6.5.
I don't think so because I'm really bad at speaking and writing. Whenever I chat with ChatGPT, then the ChatGPT score my answer.
No! Forget about that. Forget about what ChatGPT says. That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
Okay.
No, ChatGPT is just something they make up. It's not real. Forget about that. Okay, I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to tell you how good your reading is, okay? Or how good your speaking is, okay?
Okay.
Ignore ChatGPT. It's just nonsense. ChatGPT has no idea about what you're talking about. It does not understand content. What they're basically doing is looking at your grammar and maybe some vocabulary usage. They're probably grading it where it's a high vocabulary, low, but it doesn't understand content at all. It has no idea what you're talking about. There's no way for them to grade you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Let me ask you some questions. Do you like music?
I don't like music.
Okay. Do you know how an IELTS question needs to be answered?
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask you again. Do you like music?
No, I don't like music, but I used to like music when I was younger. I always listen music when I'm studying.
Mm-hmm.
It should be the part.
Okay.
The question of part one, right?
Yeah. You want to show like some dexterity with the language. You want to show that you have some skill with it. If you just give like simple sentences like that, you're not showing anything.
Okay.
You want to be more descriptive. Okay, so just because it's part one doesn't mean you want the examiner to feel like you're knowledgeable about the language, you're skillful. Okay, have you ever learned a musical instrument? Why or why not?
I haven't learned a music instrument before.
I haven't ever learned a musical instrument.
I haven't learned a musical instrument.
Okay, idiomatically you would say I haven't ever learned a musical instrument.
I haven't ever.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. Why or why not?
I haven't ever learned musical instrument.
A musical instrument.
Music instrument.
A musical instrument. I've
never learned a music instrument.
Musical instrument.
Musical instrument.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Because when I was younger, I'm not interested in musical instruments.
I wasn't interested.
I wasn't interested in any kind of musical instruments. So my parents didn't send me to music school to learn any instruments.
What traditional music do you have in your culture?
I think the traditional music in my culture is folk music. For example, like I don't know.
Okay, so you're right. You're having trouble. I think you're not studying appropriately for the test.
Yeah.
Your reading and listening are okay. You can get 6.5 with those reading and listening scores. If you get 7, so you're in good shape there. To properly prepare for the test, you need to study grammar more for sure.
Yeah.
And what you should do so that you get used to answering questions, you should, speaking questions at least, you should, not only use number 18, but if you can, I don't know if you can get to Telegram, but if you can get to Telegram, you can get all of the IELTS books over here. But you should have more than one book. You should use several books. And you should write down the answers to the speaking questions. Write them down first, then correct them using a website called quillbot.com. And then after you correct everything, and Quillbot will paraphrase it also, will give you better phrasing, then you can speak it. And you need to learn to do it very fluently. So you need to learn how to answer questions quickly and reasonably fluently. Because right now it's not there. Your pronunciation is very good. Your vocabulary is adequate for a 6, because all you need is a 6. But your fluency and grammar are not good. Now, for the essay, you need to do the same thing. You should read a lot of IELTS essays and summarize them. Learn to summarize essays. That'll give you practice in writing. And also introduce you to lots of different subjects. And also correct those summaries and then speak them. Now, you have a whole year. That's a lot of time. If you want to really prepare for the IELTS, just send me 5 messages to my profile chat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll send you my methodology and resources so that you can improve your English, which right now is probably around a 5 or 5.5 level. And you can study that for 3 or 4 months, and that would guarantee a good score on the IELTS, which is why I highly suggest. In terms of the IELTS preparation itself, if you go to my moments, I pinned the moments about how to prepare for the IELTS. You should go use this YouTube site and website, Complete Test Success. I'm going to write down, which is my moments, and they give all the proper advice on how to take the test. As well as he has live streams, which you can watch, and you can see him correcting people, or you can participate in it yourself. So basically, I think you need 3 or 4 months of proper English study. Forget about ChatGPT, forget about voice rooms. You'll learn nothing, absolutely nothing. No one's correcting you. You're not being challenged to talk about subjects at length. It's just a waste of time, total waste of time. Read my methodology and you'll learn how to speak fluently. And then in a year, you should probably be able to get over a 7, maybe 7.5 if you study properly. But you have to study properly. Forget about movies, TV, ChatGPT, voice rooms, all that stuff. Because all you're going to do is learn bad English there. And you won't be able to answer questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But you're in good shape. I would say in 3 or 4 months, you should be able to get at least a 6.5 if you study properly. Okay?
Okay. I got it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sure. Anyone who wants my methodology and my resources, just send me 5 messages to my chat in my profile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll be happy to share it with you. Anyone else here studying for the IELTS or TOEFL? I'll try to help you out. Sir, last month I was sitting for IELTS and got 5.5. Now I'm preparing myself for another IELTS exam. So please connect me. Yeah, if you got 5.5, you definitely have to work on your English grammar and your basic writing and speaking skills. So just send me 5 messages, and you should just work on your grammar. 5.5, you should be really working on grammar, reading, and writing. And that will train your mind to think in correct English. That's what you want to do. By reading and writing, you're training your mind to think in fluid, correct English. That's the best way to do it. It's the most efficient and it's the most effective way to do it. Chatting with someone who doesn't know English isn't going to help you at all. They're not going to correct you, and your English will just get work. Myrna asks, how can I work on my grammar? Again, I'll say it again. Send me 5 messages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to chat in my profile, and I'll send you my methodology and resources. It's the one I use. It's the methodology and resources I use with all of my students. And it's pretty straightforward. You got to study grammar, And you have to write lots of sentences for each subject, for each topic. That way you'll become accustomed to using the different grammar structures. Then you need to read from a good English textbook. I recommend Oxford Insight, which is available online in a PDF. And I recommend everyone start with the beginner level. So you need a grammar book, you need a good English textbook. You can use Teach English online. That's a good website to learn grammar. But remember, you have to write a lot, and you have to speak what you write after it's corrected. It's really important you repeat it a lot, so it becomes like a habit. So you can talk and use language automatically. Yeah, just send me 5 messages, Maritza. When I read, I don't realize how to do the pauses. At least I see dots. Yeah, the commas are supposed to be pauses. That's correct. And the dots or periods are end of sentences. You basically pause after a phrase, but you don't know what phrase is until you study grammar. And you should listen. I mean, you should listen also to good YouTube sites. They're designed to teach you English. You don't listen to just any old site. You need to listen to sites that are designed to teach you English. Don't waste your time with doing chaotic learning. You can't learn it that way. Don't do chaotic learning. Don't. It has to be methodical. You start at the beginning and slowly, step by step, build your language skills. So, anyone else studying for the IELTS or TOEFL? Or if you have my methodology and have a question about it, you can ask me a question. If you're studying with my methodology and something's confusing, you need some help, let me know. Anyone? That's it for today? Zoe, you have to tell me, look at my comment. You have to tell me the date of your exam and the score that you need. The date of your exam and score that you need. Guys, I'm going to give you a very rough idea. In order to get to a C1 level, you're going to have to study about 1,000 hours, and you're going to have to read, write, speak, and listen to about 100,000 sentences. That's what you need to become fluent. A lot of work. And watching movies, watching TV, talking in chat rooms with someone who doesn't speak English and you're not corrected, that does not count as studying. That makes your English worse. So if you're watching TV shows or you're talking bad English, it's going to take you longer, not shorter. Yeah, you need the vocabulary. You learn vocabulary by reading. Reading is how you learn vocabulary. You need to read a lot, read and write. That's how you're going to build your vocabulary. And you have to read the right textbooks. Because when you fluently not meaning correctly, well, in my world it does. You're not fluent if you can't say a good sentence. So, read and write. Yeah, so when you read a proper textbook like Oxford Insight, then if you read proper textbooks like Oxford Insight, then you will be taught the words you need to know. There's 400,000 words in the English language, and there are tens of thousands of phrases and expressions and stuff. There's no way you're going to learn all that. You need to focus on the words and phrases that are common that you absolutely need to know in order to function with the English language. That's why you need to use a textbook. You just don't do random words. And the same thing, you need to know grammar so you know how to use those words correctly, and you know all the grammar structures that you need in order to express yourself. For example, you need to know conditionals, you need to know modals, you need to know the subjunctives. Let me write modals down. You need to know the subjunctive. You need to know all these different structures. Try and write down subjunctive. You need to know all these different structures in order to use the language, in order to express your ideas. If you don't know these structures, you can't express your ideas. You must know grammar. Every native spends many years learning grammar. You can't learn the language without grammar. There's no such thing as someone learning English without knowing grammar. I've never met anyone like that. And I've met thousands of people who tried to learn English without learning grammar, and they never learned it. So I've got thousands of examples of people who failed to learn English because they never learned grammar. And I got, everyone in a native country learns grammar. They learn it for many years. You can't memorize words quickly and it won't help you. You need to know how to create sentences that express your ideas. Words are meaningless. I could teach you 1,000,000 words, or I could teach you 1,000,000 numbers, let's say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I could teach you 1,000,000,000 numbers. Unless you know equations, those numbers are useless. You can learn 100,000. In fact, I know people who claim they know 20, 30,000 words, and they cannot say one correct English sentence. Words is not English. English is sentences, and you need grammar for sentences.